Good morning. This is Northern Light for Thursday, June 7th. I'm Monica Sandreski.
And I'm Todd Moe.
Governor Hochul is warning New Yorkers the air quality in the state is the worst it's been since the pollution of the 1970s. She's urging schools to cancel outdoor activities.
The bottom line is this. If you can stay indoors, stay indoors. This is detrimental to people's health.
Despite hazy conditions in the Adirondacks, hikers have still been heading into the woods and up to summits this week.
People go out in all sorts of hazardous conditions because they still want to hike. So it's not super surprising. And we're just telling people to play it easy, keep it safe. And if they start feeling any kind of lightheadedness or sick in any way, then it's probably time to turn around and come out.
Also on the show, in the last few days of the legislative session, lawmakers are hoping to pass a bill that would seal the records of some people convicted of crimes so it's easier for them to get jobs. And we'll pay a visit to the Colton Hepburn Public Library and their newly installed Story Walk. All of that is coming up on Northern Light. Stick with us.
Broadcast of Northern Light here on North Country Public Radio is supported by AdirondackExplorer.org and the AdirondackAlmanac.com, seeking solutions to Adirondack Park's challenges in print and online. And by Gray & Gray & Associates, CPAs, an accounting and financial services firm in northern New York with offices in Canton, Potsdam, and Spring Hill, Florida. GrayCPAS.com.
This is Northern Light. I'm Monica Sandreski.
And I'm Todd Moe. By now, everyone has noticed the smoky air covering many parts of the state due to multiple major wildfires in Canada. Governor Kathy Hochul says it's not likely to dissipate anytime soon. She's recommended the canceling of all outdoor activities for school children and is warning us to stay inside. Karen DeWitt has more.
Hochul says the state has not experienced air this unhealthy since the pollution-laden 1970s. She says due to the smoke drifting in from the northern fires, New York City and Syracuse were among the worst places for air quality on the entire planet. The air in the rest of the state is classified as either unhealthy or very unhealthy, with increases in toxins as high as 800% between Tuesday and Wednesday. The governor says all schools should cancel outdoor activities and everyone else should avoid going outside as much as possible.
The bottom line is this. If you can stay indoors, stay indoors. This is detrimental to people's health. In New York State, we have over 1.4 million people who already have asthma. And when the air quality is bad, it's a significant risk for these individuals as well as seniors, children.
As well as New Yorkers still suffering breathing problems from long COVID. The governor recommends that people once again wear masks to protect themselves. The N95 face covering used to reduce the spread of COVID germs also works to filter out smoke particles. The state health department is also recommending that people limit outdoor activities in regions where the air has been declared unhealthy. The department's website also says that vulnerable individuals, especially the elderly and those with heart disease, congestive heart failure, or COPD, should keep windows closed or use a purifier or air conditioner with a high-efficiency filter. Hochul says she's asked firefighting experts at the State Department of Environmental Conservation to assist Canadian firefighters. But she stopped short of declaring a state of emergency. She says there's not much that state government can do by deploying resources or asking for federal funds to change the situation.
A state of emergency is a mechanism you use when there's something you can do about it. We don't have a lot we can do about the circumstances of, contaminated toxic air coming into our airspace.
The smoke will be around until weather patterns change or the fires are put out, and the governor says that's not going to happen until at least into the weekend. In Albany, I'm Karen DeWitt.
Coming up after the break, we'll hear how the wildfire smoke is impacting hikers in the Adirondacks. But first, we're going to take a look at the last couple days of the legislative session before lawmakers adjourn on Friday. Governor Hochul says a bill to seal the records of some people convicted of crimes is likely to pass. The Clean Slate Act aims to make it easier for some people with criminal records to get jobs and housing. The governor says she's seeking to give people who have served their time for their crimes a, quote, second chance without endangering the public.
My goal as the governor is to make sure we have forward-thinking, progressive policies that actually work, that are positive in the effect and not having any negative and unintended consequences. That's what I'm responsible for safeguarding against.
Hochul warns, though, that the details of the Clean Slate measure, including how long someone has to wait before their criminal records are sealed and which crimes are eligible for expunging, are still being worked out with Democratic leaders of the legislature. Lawmakers have already had to revise New York's 2019 controversial bail reform law 3 times.
A Clinton County school district is about to pick a new mascot. Saranac Central's current mascot is the Chief. Superintendent of Schools Javier Perez has said the state is requiring the district to change it. Under a new rule, public schools can no longer use indigenous names, mascots, and logos. Districts who do not change their native-themed mascots risk losing foundation aid from the state. Saranac Central held 2 rounds of voting last month. Students and community members now have until tomorrow to vote for the Wolf or the Spartan to be their next mascot. You're listening to Northern Light here on North Country Public Radio. It's 7 minutes past 8. Good morning. I'm Todd Moe.
And I'm Monica Sandreski. Just ahead, we visit the new Garden Story Walk at Colton Hepburn's Library. That's in just a few minutes here on Northern Light.
Music by Potsdam guitarist Oscar Sarmiento, and you can check out more of his music anytime. It's part of the Underscore Project, and you'll find it on our website, ncpr.org/underscore. Lots of other music from regional musicians we're highlighting on our website. Check out the Underscore Project, ncpr.org/underscore. Northern Light is supported by St. Lawrence Health, committed to keeping the community healthy and safe by providing vaccines for patients to strengthen their defenses. StLawrenceHealthSystem.org. And by Rickert Environmental in Keene, New York, keeping Adirondack waters clean by providing drinking water and wastewater compliance services. Learn more at rickertenvironmental.com.
State health officials, as we've heard, have been urging people to limit their time outdoors this week. Still, hikers have been climbing and camping in the Adirondacks all week. Our Emily Russell went to the Adirondack Lodge yesterday, the most popular trailhead in the park. She spoke with Wade Bastian from the Adirondack Mountain Club, which owns the lodge.
So, Wade, since the smoky conditions started here, I guess the start of this week, what have you been seeing in terms of people coming through to hike in the high peaks from the lodge?
There's definitely a lot of questions about what's happening. People are showing up kind of expecting like sunny days, and all of a sudden they can't see the views at the end of Lodge Road or anything like that. So there's a bit of confusion and people just wondering like what is happening and if it's normal, which, I mean, it definitely isn't. So they're wondering like what precautions they should be taking while they're getting ready for their trips in the woods, either for a single day or out overnight.
Yeah. And what are you telling them? Because, I mean, it's not super safe to be breathing this air, especially if you're vulnerable in any way.
Yeah, so we're advising folks that, it's not really a safe time to be out in the woods, especially if you have some kind of problem breathing or underlying medical issues. So if folks are that concerned, we're asking them to maybe postpone their trips. Earlier this week, it would have been Tuesday. It was really bad. It's getting a little better right now as far as the smoke is concerned, but just west of us into Tupper Lake, the conditions start getting a lot worse. So we're telling people who are thinking about coming this weekend to just keep abreast with all of the conditions, because if the winds change or if we don't get the rain that we're supposed to get, then it could just get worse.
I'm kind of shocked. So we're sitting here by the parking lot, and it looks like almost half full. I mean, there's got to be dozens of people in the woods right now. Does that surprise you that people are still coming and spending hours, if not days, in the woods?
Yeah, it's not surprising at all. People come out in any conditions and every condition. Yesterday, there were thunderstorms forecast, and after folks were told that, they were still planning on going above tree line. People go out in all sorts of hazardous conditions because they still want to hike. So it's not surprising. And yeah, midweek, this is probably pretty standard as far as, how many people are out there. And yeah, so it's not super surprising, and yeah, we're just telling people to play it easy, keep it safe, and if they start feeling any kind of lightheadedness or sick in any way, then it's probably time to turn around and come out.
Have people who have been coming off a mountain said anything about how smoky it is, or just how they've been feeling differently? Have you heard anything like that?
Yeah, a couple of people have been saying that they haven't been feeling great. There were a couple of courses here at the Heart Lake Program Center earlier this week that had a lot of people outside, and they've been reporting not feeling well after being outside most of the day. And there are some staff here that live in tents. They live outside most of the day, and they're not feeling super great. So yeah, there's definitely some issues that are going on being in the air so much. I mean, hopefully it's getting better. It seems like it's not as bad currently, but those conditions could change.
Mm-hmm. So for folks who have never been into the Adirondacks before, just don't go out hiking all that much, from your experience, what is the air here normally like, and how is it different right now?
Normally it's super clean. I mean, that's one of the big things about the Adirondacks. One of the great ties to history is that the air is so clean that people would come up here to help with their tuberculosis. So it's normally not this smoky at all. I think in 2020, there were wildfires out west that were affecting the air conditions, but it was nowhere close to what it's like right now. So this is definitely out of the ordinary for this area. Something we're not really that accustomed to dealing with or experiencing, but, it's, I guess, becoming more and more common. I used to live out west, and that was something that I dealt with a lot out there. So it's just something that different parts of the country are now experiencing.
Mm-hmm. Any advice for people who are planning on coming up to the high peaks and hiking here this weekend?
Keep an eye out on the air quality conditions. There are a couple of interactive maps that you can look at online to see what the air quality is like. Things could change. Hopefully the rain comes and that helps a little bit, but if at all possible, it might be worth thinking about postponing a trip or going somewhere else for the time being, although the whole Northeast doesn't seem to be too great right now. So hopefully things change for the better soon, but keeping an eye out on the information is usually the best thing to do in most scenarios.
That was Wade Bastian from the Adirondack Mountain Club speaking yesterday with Emily Russell.
Jefferson Community College in Watertown has a new president. The SUNY Board of Trustees on Tuesday appointed Dr. Daniel J. Dupee II to the position. He served as JCC's administrator in charge since former president Dr. Ty Stone resigned in June 2022. Prior to that, he was Executive Vice President of Administration, Finance, and Enrollment Services. Dupee is a North Country native who graduated from Watertown High School. His educational background includes an associate degree from Onondaga Community College and doctorate from Northeastern University. In a statement, he said he's honored to serve as JCC's next president. He said, as a community college graduate, he understands how they, quote, transform lives through education and drive economic development in the community.
The American Red Cross is facing a big drop in blood supply. The organization reported a big shortage last month, falling short by more than 26,000 blood donations needed to meet the demands of patients. They're looking for blood, platelet, and plasma donors. Folks who give this month will receive incentives like a $10 gift card and vouchers for a free pint of ice cream at Stewart's. There are donation centers located across the North Country.
Warren County's public transportation service is merging with the Capital District Transit Authority. According to the Glens Falls Post-Star, bills proposing the merger passed the legislature over the last week. The Warren County Board of Supervisors voted last month to merge with the CDTA. Warren would be the sixth county to join the larger transit network. Once the merger is approved, Greater Glens Falls transit employees and equipment will transition to the CDTA. The move will give Warren County residents access to the CDTA's widespread services. You're listening to Northern Light here on North Country Public Radio. I'm Todd Moe.
And I'm Monica Sandreski. In just a minute, an outdoor reading and musical experience on the lawn at Colton's Library. Then stick around after the show for Bird Note coming up at 8:42. But first, Todd has a look at the weather for us.
Yeah, we've got clouds and occasional showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm today, light winds out of the northeast, still some hazy conditions and some smoky parts of the region as well due to those Canadian wildfires. Highs this afternoon, upper 50s into the mid-60s, lows in the 40s, near 50 overnight tonight with some scattered showers possible, about a 30% chance of rain tonight. Tomorrow, a 60% chance of showers, highs near 70, light winds out of the north on Friday. For the weekend at this point, Saturday, about a 20-30% chance of an occasional shower, highs low 70s. And Sunday, partly cloudy with a high in the upper 70s near 80. Right now, cloudy skies, 53 degrees in Canton.
Children, families, and neighbors are invited together on Saturday morning to celebrate the grand opening of Colton's new Enchanted Story Garden on the lawn of the Colton Hepburn Library. The highly visual and musical outdoor literary experience is the latest initiative promoting a more playable library. A grant from the Grassroots Fund allowed the library to upgrade its story walk from plywood to a more permanent installation. And our Todd Moe got a tour of the new space that includes colorful book panels, musical metal flowers, original art, and places to just sit and relax.
I'm Lorraine Gowing. I live here in Colton. I'm not sure I have a title so much as I'm a member of the Friends of Colton Hepburn Library. And this had been a dream of mine that I had brewing, and that's why we did the plywood stands originally. And then our library manager said, and once we put the plywood stands out here, he says, I would love to have an enchanted story garden out there. And we're like, that sounds great. But we can put some into it, but we can't make it really the way it should go until we got this grant from Grassroots Fund. And that was just, the turning point. We just started dreaming big, and we were able to put all the different components in that we really wanted, and it just came together very nicely. Lots of volunteers, lots of cooperation, like from Mark Fisher and Joanne Lincoln, doing the mural, and Shelley Presper Weston doing the barn quilt, and then a Colton Pierpont alum that lives away, she did the sign over the well. So it's been very much a cooperative effort for sure.
And the idea here is you've got a story, so youngsters and families can start at one end and walk along and read the story?
Exactly, but it's interactive. Like this one, they've got the page of the book, and then down below it says, can you whirl or spin like a whirligig? So they would just dance. Another one says, make your arms flow like you're in a breeze and a curtain. So it's very interactive. They're anywhere from 14 to 16 pages long. And I've heard that kids come back over and over again. Last weekend, there was a grandparents here with their 2 grandchildren from Lake Placid, and they told their grandparents they wanted to come down and do the story walk. And I think they'd already done it, but they wanted to do it again.
And everything is so nicely done. I mean, these are here. You know, they're not just sort of on wooden stakes or something.
And that's the original, was just on wooden stakes.
Yeah.
Again, Mark Fisher said, well, you need to have sleeves on the post so it looks nice. And I'm like, yeah, but that's a lot of money. He said, we're not going to worry about that. We're going to do this right.
Tell me about the musical component. What was the idea behind that? And is it just sort of another fun element to have here?
We just want to incorporate music. We want to literacy, movement, music, art. We just wanted to focus on as many different aspects as we could. And, we saw these at another park. I don't know, I guess it was probably in Ohio maybe. We thought, oh, these are beautiful. This is what we need. And so that's how that got worked in, because we really wanted to, like I say, do not just the story. So kids and families could spend time here and enjoy doing different things. So we just add that special touch to the garden with the whole flower theme.
Oh, that's magical.
Isn't it? You can just stand there and do it all day.
You've got a grand unveiling, a ribbon cutting event coming up.
Do.
Tell listeners what's the idea. Everyone's invited. You want everyone to stop by for the ribbon cutting.
Absolutely. Yeah. Saturday, June 10th from 10 to 11:30. We're having our official ribbon cutting. We're going to have Animal Crackers, the musical group from Potsdam, performing for us. And there's going to be Mr. Dingling's ice cream truck from Boyce's store that's going to be here. There's going to be, each child will get a gift bag. The first 60 kids will get a gift bag with a coupon for ice cream, a free book at our Book Nook, which is right behind the library. So the kids can go over there and get a free children's book. We've got the Monster Hop game over there, again, with the gross motor skill that they can play. And just have just a fun morning celebrating our library and the garden. So the children can read the story, obviously. The new story is The Bugliest Bug story. And there's going to be a door prize drawing for a hard copy of that book. And there's a couple other little surprises in there for the kids, all focused on reading and literacy. And we have family away from here. We have family in Ohio and family in Maine. And I would go to their playgrounds and see these wonderful things and think, oh, that would be such an asset for our town of Colton. Kind of a meeting place. There's just a focal point for the downtown area. And so I just kept these things brewing in the back of my mind and coming home and looking at the prices and saying, oh my gosh, we'll never be able to do that. But I guess you can't ever say never, because sometimes things just work out beautifully.
How long have you helped out here with the Colton Library?
I've been, like I say, I've been a member for almost 30 years. So pretty much off and on all that time. I mean, my kids came down. We reached out. We used to do story time at the park once in a while. Now my grandchildren come to visit. We come down to the library. Yeah, it's just any capacity we can. And it was interesting because we wrote the grant. We had to reflect on what we've done through the years. And it was very much an aha moment for all of us. Like, we went from being a organization whose sole purpose was to provide good quality, low-priced used books through our annual book sale, to having a book nook now that's open on Saturdays in the summer. Shanna's Story Garden. We've reached out to daycare centers over the years and offered them gift cards to get books. I think a library it's not like a school. It's like the center of the community. If you've got a library, you've got something to draw people in.
And that's why you do it.
Yes. And I do. I love literacy and children, and I love the community.
So on a typical summer day, you would love to see families bring their youngsters here and walk through the story garden and try out the musical instruments?
Yep, bring a picnic, sit at mom and dad or whoever can sit at the Adirondack chairs. The kids can have a little picnic or a little snack on the little picnic table there. And just enjoy the story, enjoy the space.
Thank you, Lorraine. This is really a delight.
Well, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. We all appreciate getting the word out about our garden and our library.
Good luck with the ribbon cutting.
Thank you.
Lorraine Gowing with Friends of the Colton Hepburn Library. You're invited to the grand opening ribbon cutting for the Enchanted Garden Story Walk at the Colton Hepburn Library this Saturday morning, starting at 10 o'clock.
Over in the meadow, in the sand, in the sun, lived an old mother tortoise and her little tortoise one. Dig, said the mother.
I dig, said the one.
So he dug and was glad in the sand, in the sun. Over in the meadow where the tall grass grew, lived an old mother red fox and her little foxes too. Run, said the mother. So they ran and were glad where the tall grass grew. Over in the meadow, in a nest in a tree, lived an old mother robin and her little birdies three. Sing, said the mother. So they sang and were glad in their nest in the tree. Over in the meadow by a tall sycamore lived an old mother chipmunk and her little chipmunks four. Play, said the mother.
We play, said the four.
So they played and were glad by the tall sycamore. Over in the meadow in a new little hive lived an old mother queen bee and her honey bees five. Hum, said the mother. So they hummed and were glad in their new little hive. Over in the meadow in a dam built of sticks lived an old mother beaver and her little beaver six. Build, said the mother.
We build, said the six.
So they built and were glad in the dam built of sticks. Over in the meadow, in the green wet bogs, lived an old mother froggy and her 7 pollywogs. Swim, said the mother.
We swim, said the wogs.
So they swam and were glad in the green wet bogs. Over in the meadow as the day grew late, lived an old mother owl and her little owls 8. Wink, said the mother.
We winked, said the 8.
So they winked and were glad as the day grew late. Over in the meadow, in a web on the pine, lived an old mother spider and her little spiders 9. Spin, said the mother.
We spin, said the 9.
So they spun and were glad in their web on the pine. Over in the meadow, in a warm little den, lived an old mother rabbit and her little bunnies 10. Hop, said the mother.
We hop, said the 10.
So they hopped and were glad in their warm little den.
Over in the meadow, John Langstaff and a chorus of children from his album Songs for Singing Children. Over in the meadow. And we draw the curtain back a little bit to let you know that, yes, we were singing along.
We were singing along. I loved seeing you wink during the wink.
Totally love that song. And I got to tell you, Monica, that is a perennial favorite. I've been sharing it for years during this hour, and it's just a timeless song.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing, that is just a signature of Northern Light. This time every year, I always look forward to it. Well, that's it for the show for the day. Morning edition continues in just a couple of minutes. Then stick around after that for the Marketplace Morning Report coming up between 8:51 and 9 o'clock. But we would be remiss if we didn't get in a plug for the Howell Story Slam tonight, presented by the Adirondack Center for Writing and NCPR. It's in Brant Lake at Hub on Market Street, starting at 7 o'clock for an evening of 5-minute true stories with no notes and no props. The theme is school days. Find out more at ncpr.org/Howell. I'm Monica Sandreski.
I'm Todd Moe. Thanks for listening. Be well.